We are live. Hey. Hey.
You killed it.
We did it. We're on. What's up, everybody? I'm Dave. This is Johnny. It's Dave and Johnny Live.
Episode 7.
Episode 7. This is our 7th week in a row doing Dave and Johnny Live. How does it feel to you, Johnny?
I feel pretty good.
Feel good?
Feels like it's been a pretty good week.
It's been a solid week. I had some technical problems for Hell in a Cell, so maybe we'll talk a little Hell in a Cell here. If you were here on our YouTube channel live after Hell in a Cell, you saw the show, but you also saw that we cut off in the middle. We had all sorts of technical issues, and the upload didn't work to our... It was just a whole array of problems that we had on Sunday night. So if you were there live, you got to see my thoughts on Hell in a Cell. If you were not, well, you'll catch it now. We'll talk a little Hell in a Cell now, because we had those technical problems on Sunday. We were talking about it a little bit before we started the show here. We both agreed that Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton had the best match. What'd you think of Hell in a Cell? I thought it was a decent pay-per-view. I enjoyed it. I thought it was, maybe better than SummerSlam.
Yeah, possibly. Just the first match really delivered and kind of set the tone for me the whole evening. You're just thinking about that pretty much the whole night. Like, wow, what did I just watch? And
it was awesome. It was a great Cell match. Classic. Yeah. It was a classic match between Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton.
And I felt most of the other matches were really good too on the show. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe was pretty good. I liked New Day against the Rusev Day as well. I thought that was solid for a pre-show match. That was really good.
I thought that match was better than the other tag match. I know a lot of people were saying, Rollins and Ambrose against Ziggler and McIntyre was so good. I thought New Day against Rusev Day was better.
To me, what hurt the Shield against Ambrose, against McIntyre and Ziggler was the finish. I mean, clearly the referee's an idiot. That he didn't see that there was no tag made, yet Ziggler's the legal man. And that's right at the end, too. It's clear as day. It's really bad. There's no thought put into that. There's so much thought put into creative finishes, but the actual finish, there was really a lack of thought in that one.
I thought the finishes were really good at Hell in a Cell. I thought the Jeff Hardy finish was really cool.
Oh,
when he's up on the top and then he flies off, tries to dive through Randy, but goes through the table instead. I thought that was excellent. I thought the AJ Styles Samoa Joe finish was brilliant. Where AJ is in the Cojita clutch, he's getting choked out, he rolls over on Joe, he pins him 1, 2. At the count of 2, he's tapping out from the clutch. The ref doesn't see it. The ref counts 3. When the dust clears, AJ's unconscious. Joe thinks he won, but he didn't. He lost. You set up the next match, which is going to happen in a couple weeks' time, October 6th at the Super Showdown. I thought that was brilliant. Matter of fact, I saw Pat Patterson on Monday, and I wanted to ask him, hey, did you come up with some of those finishes? Because they were so good, but I didn't bother him. I see him a lot, and I never speak to him.
You say hi to him, like, hey, Pat, how's it going?
I didn't this time.
Wow.
Because when I have said hi to Pat Patterson, I've been like, hey, Pat Patterson, how you doing? He's like, yeah. Not friendly. He's not interested in talking to me. I'm like, hey, Pat Patterson, what's going on? He's like, not interested. So now when I see him, which is very often because he goes to a coffee shop that's right by my gym, and when I go to the gym, so often I see him just sitting in that coffee shop.
Okay.
And now I don't say hi. I don't say anything to him. I just walk on by. He's right at a terrace, sitting outside at a coffee shop, having his coffee. Area. He's on his phone or reading the paper or whatever. I never talk to Pat Patterson because I've made the mistake of talking to him a couple of times when I've met him around that area, and he's never been that receptive to talking to me. He's not very friendly to me. Maybe it's something I did or said, or I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't want to talk wrestling to some mark like me, I guess, Maybe he thinks I'm some wrestling fan and doesn't know anything and just going to bother him about stupid stuff. I just want him to put me on the phone with Vince McMahon, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. It's unfortunate. Maybe I'm not cute enough for him. I don't know,
Well, I've met Pat twice, and he's always been nice to me. It's just, I think he doesn't really know you. So it's like you're just a stranger, regardless that you know wrestling. That's great. You know him, but he doesn't know you. So
yeah, I know.
it's still an awkward situation.
Oh,
for
I
him.
get it. I totally get it. And that's why I don't bother him.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
I see him so much, but I never bother him. Which sucks, because I'd like to talk to him, because I know he's got so much wrestling knowledge, and I'd like to kind of pick his brain a little bit. Because, you know, I know wrestling. I'm not just a wrestling fan. Like, I've been hosting a talk show about professional wrestling for over 12 years now. In Montreal, the city that he lives in, you know, the city he's from. But Pat's not interested in talking to me, I don't think. What are you gonna do, man? It's okay.
You'd have to take the.
I'd have to really push it.
Yeah.
And like one time I said, "Hey Pat, I host a radio show here in Montreal. You know, I host a wrestling show." Yeah, and I was like, "Okay, nothing and nothing. See you later, Pat. Thanks for creating the Royal Rumble. Have a good one." It was weird. And one time I was with Fred. Okay, Fred Garcia, and my brother. It was after some concert. I think we went to see Kendrick Lamar. And then we're going into the metro, and we're on like a down escalator, and Pat was coming up. So right next to us, right? And as we're going down, Fred goes, "Hey, that guy looked like Pat Patterson." Like loud enough so Pat Patterson could definitely hear him. And Pat Patterson turns around. And I go to Fred, I'm like, "Yep, that's Pat Patterson." And Pat's like looking at us like, what's the problem with these guys? You know? Fred's like, "Hey, I think that's Pat Patterson." It's great. So loud. Pat definitely heard him. Yeah, so that's another awkward Pat Patterson interaction that I've had. I see him so often, and every interaction is weird that like I've just given up. Like I don't even want to bother him anymore because like nah, I don't want to bug him.
See, there's a very strong chance he has a low opinion of you because of all these terrible situations.
Yeah, he probably sees me and he's like, "Oh, that guy. I don't want that guy around me. Let me avoid eye contact." And he does. He does. I see him, I look at him, I'm like, "Oh man, that's Pat Patterson." He looks at me, he's like, takes his phone. You know? This is Pat Patterson when he sees me. Looking at the phone. Does not break contact with the phone. Because he knows if he looks up, I'm going to be like, "Hey, Pat Patterson, what's up, brother? How's that Legends house? What's Mean Gene like?" You know? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't.
The first thing I'd ask him, but okay.
I wouldn't bother him. I wouldn't bother him at all.
But you want to.
I want to a little bit, yeah. Well, I mean, it's Pat Patterson, right? He knows a lot about wrestling.
He's got a very.
I wanted to say, "Hey, Pat, did you see Hell in a Cell? You know, what did you think?" You know, 2 minutes. 2 minutes of his time, but I think even 2 minutes is asking too much of the man, so. I respect him too much to bother him. If it was Randy Orton, I'd be harassing him every day. I'd be like, "Randy! Oh, Randy!" But not Pat. I got respect for Pat.
That's good. I'm glad. Pat's a good guy. It just he's not very friendly sometimes.
Yeah, I could tell.
A lot of wrestlers are like that, though. I'm like that sometimes.
Yeah, you're not friendly. You're not even friendly to me, and we're friends.
Ish. Yeah.
What do you mean, ish? Are we not friends?
Sometimes, you could be a bit of a jerk. I'm just saying, straight up.
Wow.
It's true.
Wow. And what does that make you, calling me a jerk right now?
Being honest.
Not a jerk?
Truthful.
Truthful.
Straight. Up.
You're mean.
Forward.
See, you're just mean to me. Everybody that watches Dave and Johnny live knows that Johnny's just mean to me. Antoinette is checking in. Mean.
It's only Antoinette that thinks that way.
Oh, my dad is checking in. He says that you're friendly to him.
Except that one time. That one time you weren't friendly to me, John. And John knows what I'm talking about, too. And you know what I'm talking about, too.
He has no recollection because what you said was offensive to him. You offended my father first. Then he told you to F off. In a joking manner, though, that you took personally for some reason.
It didn't sound joking. It didn't sound like he was joking at all.
It was joking. Unbelievable. I'm not even going to tell the story. I'll tell my dad later what Johnny's talking about. Which time? Now he wants to know. Should we tell the story?
Yeah, tell the story.
All right, fine. So we had an extra ticket to a Raw show, right? A Monday Night Raw.
I want to say it was a house show, actually.
No, it was Raw.
Really?
Yeah, it was a live Raw TV taping. So
we watched Raw live together? When did this happen?
What do you mean?
We actually watched a Monday Night Raw Like,
No, you had tickets separate from me.
oh, okay.
So I had 3 tickets. Well, I had 2 tickets plus an extra one because Fred fell ill. Fred was sick.
Right.
So he couldn't take his ticket. Okay?
It's a shame.
Yeah, it was too bad.
I said that too.
Yeah, but the way you said it was just wrong. So Fred couldn't take the ticket. So I had an extra ticket. Fred said, I can't go, do whatever you want. So I called my dad and I said, hey, do you want to come? I'm going with your other son, my brother. Do you want to come with us to Raw? And he said, yeah, sure. So he came to Raw, and then we saw you at the show. And I said, hey, yeah, my dad's here. Fred couldn't make it.
We're outside
But
too.
I'm like, yeah, Fred couldn't make it, but my dad's here. And you're like, oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. That's too bad that my dad's here. It was very rude.
No,
And then my dad's
wasn't.
like, what? And he's like, oh, well, why don't you F off? And he's like joking, and you're like, well, all serious. See, you don't understand like the tone always of people. You don't get it when it's kind of joking. And the way you said it was like not really joking. It was a little bit weird for you, honestly, John, to say, that's too bad. When my father's right there, like I'm saying, hey, look, here's my dad. He's getting to see a wrestling show with his boys, something he never gets to do, and you're like, that's too bad.
No, it wasn't like that.
It's exactly like that.
You've twisted the story again. How it went. It was your dad's there. Oh, that's nice. And then where's Fred? Oh, and Fred's not there. Oh, well, that's too bad.
No, that's not how you put it. That's
down.
not how you put it. Incorrect.
No,
Incorrect.
That's how it went down.
Well, this is several years ago, so I think maybe both of our accounts of the occasion could be slightly skewed at this point. Because it's been a long time. This is when Bret Hart was on Raw, so it was a while ago.
This wasn't the Jerry Lawler thing.
No, this was Jericho was there, Bret Hart was there. I don't remember what happened. Y2J and Bret Hart made it okay, my dad said. He was happy to see them. 2 of his favorites. Because my dad knows good wrestling.
He does.
That's right.
And there's Andy, by the way.
There. Andy is back. Our boy Andy out in England, he's checking in. What's up, Andy? He says he's back on Twitter. Redskins UK1. Well, are you following me at Redskins UK1, Andy? I don't know that you're back. You got to follow at Dave Simon MMA. You could follow at North Genesis as well. And then we'll know that you're back, my man. Redskins, though. Is that really the Twitter account that you want to have? Seems a bit racist. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't watch football. John, there's like a rivalry, right? You have a rivalry going?
I have no ill will towards Andy for his love for the Washington Redskins. He also likes Washington Nationals, too.
Yeah, I don't like the Washington Nationals. They're a stolen team. They were stolen from Montreal, put in Washington, D.C., for the pleasure of Bud Selig and his evil friends. Bad. Bad stuff.
He likes Washington teams. It's fine.
Whatever. And you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. How they looking this year? Good? Bad?
I think 1-1 so far.
Why is everybody talking about the Cleveland Browns? Like, my Twitter last night was filled with Cleveland Brown stuff. And it wasn't just Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. Like, what the hell? They won their first game in 2 years or something?
They also tied or something as well.
Pathetic. How could you win 1 game in 2 years and celebrate? You know what I mean?
Well,
maybe the future's looking up. I don't know. I don't watch
you lose
football.
like 16 games and then you finally win something. It's kind of a big deal.
Whatever.
Remember the Expos were like that too. They'd lose like 20 in a row or something.
Easy. Take it easy.
It's what happened.
All right. We don't have too much time here for Dave and Johnny Live. Franco checking in, asking if our internet issues are fixed. So far they are. We'll see. It's a work in progress.
We're still live, so that's good.
We're still live. But we do have a lot of things to get to. I have to be on TSN 690 in an hour and a half, so we should wrap this thing up pretty soon.
Wow, another spot.
Yeah, I'm going to be on TSN 690 with Sean Campbell. I think it's Campbell. Maybe Knuckles Nyland too. I don't know.
They both do the show together, no?
Are they doing the show together? I don't know. Either way, I'm going to be on at 2:30 on TSN 690 talking about Conor McGregor. And then I'll be on tonight again with AJ and Fred and the boys for Ringside Report Radio. We'll be talking about Conor McGregor, Khabib, the press conference. John Jones is coming back. The MMA world is on fire right now. And apart from wrestling, I'm going to be talking about MMA the rest of the day.
Is Marco back?
Marco Muscles, I think so.
Oh, by the way, and this will pop the backstage, I'm sure. Jeremy Prophet said, like, anytime you want him to have him on Ringside Report, he's willing to come down.
On Ringside Report?
Yeah, because he's been watching a lot of UFC lately. He'd love to give his feedback on that.
Yeah, sure. Anytime he wants to come down, he can. Backstage isn't listening to you, John.
Okay, good.
Andy says he's got tickets for the UK tour for WWE. Do you want me to do anything for Wrestling Uncensored? Yeah, bring a sign. Is it going to be on TV? If it's going to be on TV, you know, if you guys are ever going to a WWE show, I want you guys to bring Wrestling Uncensored signs, you know? Hi, Johnny North. Hi, Dave Simon. Wrestling Uncensored. Something like that. I want to see more Wrestling Uncensored invasion stuff at the WWE shows. So I'm counting on you, Wrestling Uncensored Universe. I want to see your signs at these WWE shows. I'm sick and tired of seeing all these other jabroni podcasts with their listeners and their signs and their big heads and some sort of nonsense. Nobody cares about these jabroni podcasts. You want to see Johnny North, you want to see me, you want to see that kind of stuff at the WWE shows. So please, if you're going to a WWE show, Wrestling Uncensored Universe, I'm putting this out on you. I don't ask very much of the universe. We provide you with so much free content. Every week, we're always doing stuff for you. We ask very little in return. But what I want from you is some Wrestling Uncensored signs in the audience. I want to see Wrestling Uncensored signs on TV. I want to see a big sign of Johnny North's face in the audience.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, do that, Andy. I love that a lot.
Yeah, the big head of Johnny North right there.
I think Wally would do that. He's made T-shirts. I mean, just ask Wally for T-shirts if you need T-shirts.
Yeah, there you go. Wally's checking in. What's up, Wally? Giving you the old Fred. He says story, dudes. I don't know what that means.
Story. Does he want a story?
He wants a story? I don't know. Story time? You had a wrestling match on the weekend. How'd it go?
I was in a tag match. I was teaming with Don Belanger.
You've wrestled him before, right?
I wrestled him like at a car show one time, which I'm sure like 20 people saw. I don't know if 20 people even remember that, but we wrestled one time. We teamed, but we lost because I attacked him during the match. Now, I attacked him because he hit me. Maybe it was intentional, but I was kind of offended. He also...
Your tag team partner struck you?
Because, like, he got whipped into the corner. I was in the corner.
Yeah.
And he hit me.
Now, part of the match, or...?
Well, that was the plan.
Okay.
For him to hit me.
Yeah.
And I decided to take matters in my own hands, regardless that we're teaming.
Yeah.
And I attacked him, gave him my finisher, STO, and left him lame. He lost the match. And more than likely, we're going to feud now.
So you turn heel?
Heel. Like, I suppose you could say that. I just had enough of him. Like, how am I the bad guy in the whole situation?
I don't know.
This is the guy.
Is he a babyface, though?
Well, he's beloved by, a bunch of people who are sheep.
So you turn heel?
Like, again, it's how you perceive it, but he's the one who decided not to shake my hand right away. Took his time with it, by the way, in his cheap little suit. And I'm the one there just doing the match, pretty much mostly by myself, because he can't even come in most of the match. And...
Because he wasn't tagged? Aren't you supposed to tag him
I did
in?
tag him. Apparently that tag wasn't legal for whatever reason, but that happened during the match. You can ask at Manny Terbun. He watched the match. He was there.
Manny and Terbun showed up for your match.
He did, yeah.
Oh, very cool. Shout out to you, Manny, for checking in and going to see Johnny North live. That's another thing I love to hear about the Wrestling Uncensored universe, going to see you, Because we push it. Hey, when's your next match? When can people see you in the ring? Da-da-da. But that's not for nothing. That's so that the Wrestling Uncensored universe can show up and support our man Johnny North. That's awesome. Shout out to you, Manny and Terbun, for going to see Johnny North. That's very cool.
And the next show is October 6th. I'm not wrestling Dom yet, but
why
eventually.
not? The guy wants a piece of you.
The thing is, they have rankings, right? He's the NWA British Commonwealth Champion.
Ah.
And I'm not high enough in the rankings yet, so... Apparently I have to prove myself, which I don't think I'll have a problem with.
I don't know. Wally says, story dudes mean what's the crack? What's up? What's happening? That type of thing.
Oh, I guess...
What's the crack, fella?
It's kind of what was the crack.
Yeah, there you go. And he wants to know what the hashtag Dublin on Dave and Johnny Twitter post is. Is there a summit happening in Dublin? No, we just shout out all our loyal cities out there. You know, hashtag Toronto, hashtag Dublin, hashtag London, hashtag Montreal, hashtag Quebec City, hashtag Terrebonne, hashtag NDG, hashtag Villemard. You know, we're just shouting out the cities that show a lot of support. And Dublin is one of our towns. We're over in Dublin. All the McGregor people, all my people out in Bray. We're over in Dublin. Hashtag Tony. As we found out last week on Ringside Report Radio, Anthony DeLessio not only goes under the name Anthony, also AJ, and we found out also Tony. People call him Tony, so he's got 3 aliases. Very suspicious. We found out more and more. We're uncovering different layers to AJ on Ringside Report Radio every single week. More and more stuff. I have a big surprise for AJ tonight. You better tune into the show tonight live on TSN 690. I have a big surprise for AJ. Big. And it's not even negative. It's actually something he'll probably like.
He seems quite beloved, though, with BTT, it seems.
Yeah.
Seems like he does a really good job.
People do like him at the BTT gym. We had Corinne Laframboise in studio last week. Wally loved the way she said Tony. She had a great accent. Very nice. Good fighter. Going to be fighting tonight, actually, in Quebec City for TKO. So shout out to you, Corinne, and I hope you kick ass tonight. You bring that W home and keep on kicking ass for TKO. It was very cool for her to show up like a week before her fight. She's in studio with us. And now a week later, you know, it is her fight. It's fight night. TKO tonight. It's going to be on UFC Fight Pass if you get the chance. Try watching UFC Fight Pass tonight to watch TKO and watch our girl Corinne Laframboise kick some major ass.
It's funny how you get your shows catered and yet these fighters, they can't even eat the food now. Right?
Yeah, well, you know, what are you going to do?
Oh, it's good for you guys.
Wally, like the guy, like Yoni Sherbatov a couple weeks ago on the show, he said he was brilliant. Well, he said he was Brill, but I'm guessing that's short for brilliant. Yoni was great. Yoni's fun. Yoni actually caused a lot of controversy on the show. A lot of controversy. There were people texting me the day after talking about Yoni in the MMA world. Some fighters were actually complaining about Yoni and saying some things about him. So it was a controversial appearance from Yoni Sherbatov, no doubt. He ruffled a lot of feathers on the local MMA scene. I'll just put it that way. And there will be repercussions like on Ringside Report Radio. You're going to hear over the next couple of months some fighters coming on and maybe replying to Yoni. And Yoni will be back on as well. Yoni is a friend of the show. Yoni's down for life now. Yoni and Andy, his manager, they will be back on Ringside Report Radio. They are... They're some interesting dudes. They were a lot of fun.
Is this why your guest last week kind of strayed away from doing anything like that because it ruffled too many feathers?
It wasn't because of Yoni, although she did hear about Yoni on the mats. Like when they're talking about Ringside Report Radio in the MMA gyms across Montreal, you know something is going right, you know?
That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
They're talking about Wrestling Uncensored in the wrestling rings all over the world, right? So it's good that Ringside Report Radio is catching up.
That's fantastic.
There you go. What else do you got, Johnny North? You got a movie review for us?
I did. I saw the new Jack Black movie. The House with a Clock in Its Walls.
My favorite Jack Black appearance is his appearance on the Eric Andre show. You ever seen that?
I have not seen that.
Oh my god. Fantastic. They do whippets.
Well, did you ever see Goosebumps?
I read a couple books.
Okay. Well, he did the movie, Goosebumps.
They did a movie?
Yeah. He was R.L. Stein in that one. And I thought that was fantastic. And I thought this was going to be more of the same. And I think they tried to go for something like that. It just wasn't as good, unfortunately. I don't know, maybe just because maybe the Goosebump monsters are more relatable. Like, you understand the stories better.
What was this movie you saw?
The House with the Clock in Its Walls. Basically, he's a warlock, which is like a male witch. Okay?
Oh, okay. Isn't a male witch a wizard?
No, it's a warlock.
What's a wizard?
A wizard's like a male magician.
Well, what do you call a magician then?
just a magician. Like, but he's not that professional.
No, you just said a wizard was a male magician.
Right? It's the same thing, wizard and magician.
Wizards and magicians are two different things, man.
What? You're telling me this? I'm surprised you're telling me this.
Well, a wizard is like a guy with a hat, you know? He does potions. You know he's got the pointy hat? Wizards, man.
I'm very impressed that you know this. Wow. Blown away. Okay, well,
and a magician is totally different. Magician is like, you know, David Copperfield, like, you know, like very snazzy with like a black shirt and chest hair, you know?
Well, not all cases.
I'm just saying, I'm just giving you an example of a, you know, swarthy magician. Think Joe Bluth from Arrested Development. That's a magician. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
But
Tony Wonder?
magic.
No?
We're dealing with magic here. And
Magic.
He deals with magic.
I am more. I am magic. Like Matt Hardy?
I wish, man.
Wonderful!
He'd still be wrestling if he was magic. He should still actually be on TV, but unfortunately he's not. I think it's kind of a shame. He should still
I miss him.
keep doing the character.
Is Jeff done?
No, Jeff's not done. Jeff's still wrestling.
Is he?
Yeah, he's still in the house shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I thought Jeff was moving along.
No, not obsolete yet. And Jeff, he's amazing. He's going to be WWE champion again. If he did that and he survived, he'll be champ.
Wally says, knowing a wizard is the most nerdy thing Dave has ever said. He usually would say, I don't know about that kind of crap.
Exactly.
Which is true. But, like, who doesn't know that a wizard and a magician are two different things? Like, everybody knows what wizards are, no?
Wow.
I picture a wizard as a guy in, like, a blue robe, a blue pointy hat, long white hair, and, like, a long white beard. Am I off the mark?
That's a definition.
That's a wizard to me. A magician is like Chris Angel, mind freak, you know? That's a magician. And when you say a wizard is a male magician, that made no sense, John. Because a male magician is just called a magician.
Okay, well,
Are you
I'm
saying
trying
that
to not be offensive here to people?
What do you mean not be offensive? A female magician is also called a magician.
Yeah, let's not be offensive here.
What do you mean? I'm not being offensive.
here.
Nobody's being offensive. What the hell are you talking about?
Let's not offend people.
What do you mean? Let's not offend people.
We got Saudi Arabia coming up. Like, we don't need to start offending people. I know.
I am going to offend all of Saudi Arabia come that crown jewel event from WWE. Get ready to hear my thoughts on Saudi Arabia.
Where's the tea? We need some tea for you.
Oh, you just allowed women to drive in 2013, or 2018 rather. How progressive of you, Saudi Arabia. What a progressive country. I'm so impressed with you. Are they allowed to go to school? Wow. Can they speak? Can they talk back to the men? Oh, no. That they can't do. Good job, Saudi Arabia.
Money. You know, if someone gave you a truckload of money, you would be very happy with Saudi Arabia.
I would do whatever they wanted.
Exactly.
If Saudi Arabia gave me $50 million, I would take it as well.
You would.
And then I'd disappear and you'd never see me again. If I got $50 million from Saudi Arabia, that'd be the end of Dave and Johnny Live. It'd be Dave in Saudi Arabia forever. Just, you know, dancing.
See, this is why. I'm not really friends. He wouldn't share any of that money. You know that.
Oh, you get to party with me.
Oh, I'm very surprised.
We're just not doing YouTube shows anymore. We're just like, we're retired, you know? We're just on the beach with like a something. I don't know.
Something ridiculous. You don't even know what to do with your retirement.
No, I don't. I see like beach, and that's it. And Saudi Arabia is a desert, so maybe not in Saudi Arabia. We're not retiring in Saudi Arabia. We're just taking their money. All right. What else do you got?
Well, overall, I thought the movie was kind of disappointing. Wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what it is.
The problem is, like, it was PG. You know, Jack Black, I find he's better in more of those PG-13 kind of roles. They got to let him loose a bit, and they didn't. The special effects were cool. No problems there. But in terms of the story, in terms of the characters, it's kind of corny.
All right. I have no interest in seeing that movie. There's a movie I want to see. I want to see that White Boy Ricky. That looks good.
I might go see Night School. I think that's next week.
I don't know what that is. What's that?
Forget who's in that again. It's Kevin Hart, I think, is in that movie.
Oh.
Yeah, so we'll see.
You know I like Kevin Hart.
I thought AJ likes Kevin Hart.
I love Kevin Hart. I saw Kevin Hart before AJ did.
Okay, well, I think he said differently or something on the previous video.
AJ says a lot of nonsense, all right? You know, you got to take everything he says with a grain of salt.
Also, the Halloween movie that's coming up. They're doing Halloween again. Can't wait for that.
Wally went to see The Equalizer with Denzel Washington.
I heard that was good.
Wally wants to know if you got hot dogs during the movie, because apparently you eat hot dogs. You eat movie theater hot dogs?
Well, Wally asked me, like, oh, do you want any food? I'm like, oh, I wouldn't mind a hot dog. He's like, oh, just a hot dog? I'm like, well, you know what? How about 2 hot dogs?
Okay.
So, yeah, I got 2 hot dogs.
That must have cost like $15.
No, I think like 5, 6.
For 2 hot dogs?
Well, they were pretty big hot dogs.
How were those hot dogs? I've never had a hot dog in a movie theater in my life.
Quite delicious.
Really?
Thank you, Wally, by the way. Great times. And again, you can watch that review of Mission Impossible Fallout on our YouTube page. I think it was Where's Wally episode 2.
There you go.
Fantastic stuff.
So, we're just wrapping up Dave and Johnny Live. I think it's about time to hit the 90-Day Fiance portion of this show.
I saw bits and pieces this week.
Man, Jesse and Darcy, they broke up, and then they got back together for some reason.
Well, it was kind of weird how the kids were there and like, oh, this is to say goodbye to you, and it's like, why do this if you're just gonna break up?
Yeah,
like, just
why?
leave.
And then we saw a preview for the next episode where Darcy is getting some sort of injections in her face to make herself look better for Jesse, and Jesse is planning a trip to the States to see Darcy. Darcy thinks it's going to be a romantic experience, and Jesse is saying, I am going there so I can break up with her. So he's going to go break up with her.
Okay. That's pretty stupid.
Yeah, Jesse's kind of a jerk, but we know this. Jesse's terrible. And Darcy, I mean, she kind of deserves everything that's happening. What else? Angela is done with Michael. She's going to leave Nigeria without him. It doesn't seem like that's going well at all. The guy in the Philippines, we didn't really see him this week, but we did see a preview clip of next week where it seems like the girl really doesn't want to kiss him or have anything to do with him. She seems totally repulsed by him. The only reason she's with him is because she wants to leave the Philippines and live a better life in the United States and have more money. And this guy, Tarek, is the only way out for her. But she does not seem like she's into him in any way. It's kind of sad. And Ricky is with Jimena, and he's trying to convince her he loves her or whatever, but he's also saying, look, I came to Colombia for this other girl, Melissa. She wasn't into me, so you were my backup, but I'd like you to marry me and come to the States. And she's like, where's that ring from? Oh, I was going to give this ring to Melissa, but you can have it.
That's nice.
You're great. You're second best to Melissa. Well, what happens if Melissa comes calling? Well, I will leave you, of course. I'm Ricky.
He didn't say that, did he?
No, but, I mean,
He would
it's
say it.
understood.
Yeah.
Ricky is a moron. He's one of my least favorite characters in the history of 90 Day Fiancé. I do not like him. He's very stupid. Very stupid. And apparently he's still married.
Wow. Well, that's kind of actually...
You can't be on a show called 90 Day Fiancé if you're currently married, dude. But he says he's separated or in a process of whatever. Like, I don't buy anything he says. Ricky is a slime ball, okay?
Yeah, he's horrible. But I also
Terrible.
think he's just dumb. Like
He's dumb, but he's also, like, he's sleazy.
Yeah.
He's sleazier, too.
And there was a new girl introduced this week.
Yeah, whatever.
She has like 2 kids, and like there's this
She's
guy.
a stripper.
She's a stripper. Wow.
Third generation stripper. Her mother and her grandmother were both strippers, and now she's a stripper, and her guy is some Algerian dude who's a devout Muslim, and he doesn't like that she's a stripper.
He doesn't speak English, the guy too.
No, and she doesn't speak Arabic. And Paul and Karini, Karini hates Paul. She wants a divorce. Karini's mother hates Paul, wants him out of Brazil.
They just got married.
And Paul's like, I don't understand. It's like, yeah, you don't understand. You're a weirdo, man. You're a weirdo, Paul. I don't like Paul at all. And next week, it's like, Paul thinks he's going to have a divorce. But then Karini is like in the hospital. So maybe she's pregnant with his child. Maybe they're going to stay together. I don't know. It's a mess. Neither of them speak the other's language. She speaks Portuguese. He speaks English. It is ridiculous.
Oh, all the relationships are a mess. So this isn't very surprising.
Are they all a mess?
Can you
Rachel and John seem to be doing all right. The American lady
they're
that went...
crying like every week.
Yeah, but, you know, they seem happy together at least. They seem to genuinely love each other.
But they can't really be together.
They can't be together because he's got a criminal past and he's afraid that they won't let him into the United States. But from what I understand, he's in the United States right now. So I don't really buy it. I think everything's fine. I think they're going to turn out just fine and everything's fine there. I don't really like either of them. I think they're both really annoying. But I think that they're the strongest couple on the show.
Well, I think Darcy and Jesse are the couple of the show.
They're the most entertaining couple of the show, but they're also the most dysfunctional.
That's fair, yeah.
They are terrible together.
But I want to see them the most, so.
Yeah. And I think they know that, and TLC knows that. And I think the reason why they're still together, more than them not being able to quit each other, they're not able to quit the cameras.
That makes sense.
They like being on camera, they like being on TV, and they cannot fathom a world where they're not E-list celebrities. They want to be known, they want to be on TV, they want to be on 90 Day Fiance, and that's why Yessie and Darcy are still together. And Darcy wants to promote her clothing line, House of 11, which I shouldn't have even said. I shouldn't have even given her the promotion on Dave and Johnny Live. But if you notice, she's always wearing these H11 shirts.
Ah.
Yeah, that's her clothing line that she's promoting. That's why Darcy's on 90 Day Fiance. Darcy doesn't even live with her children. Her girls live with the father. She lives in a condo with her twin sister, and she got into a domestic dispute with her earlier this year and was arrested. Real responsible. Great mothering, Darcy. You're a fool.
She's got some issues, problems.
She's a worse parent than Ali Abdelaziz.
Unfamiliar?
Whoosh, right over your head.
Yeah.
I'll explain on Ringside Report Radio tonight who Ali Abdelaziz is and why you need to care about him. Conor McGregor was shouting at a man at the press conference. He had a face-off with Khabib yesterday, and then he's shouting at another man. Hey, how's Noah? Where's Noah? I'll tell you who Noah is, who Ali Abdelaziz is, who Ramzan Kadyrov is, and all these things tonight on Ringside Report Radio.
Cliffhanger.
It's going to go deep. We're going to get into Russian politics. We're going to get into Chechen politics. We're going to get into dictators. We're going to get into the torturing of homosexuals by said dictator. We're going to talk about Khabib's manager, who was a snitch and perhaps a terrorist double agent working with the NYPD. And we're going to talk about John Jones, who's also a snitch. John Jones got his suspension reduced for snitching on other fighters or other people in the fight game. We're not even sure who he's snitching on. That's kind of how snitching works. But we know that Johnny Bones Jones is a rat. He's a rat.
It's a lot of allegations, it sounds like. I don't know.
No, that's confirmed. No allegations.
Okay.
Ali Abdelaziz is a rat. John Jones is a rat. And Conor McGregor is the king of the fight game.
The torturing of homosexuals, that's an allegation or fact?
No, that's a fact.
Wow.
Ramzan Kadyrov and his government in Chechnya have tortured the Chechen Republic, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called. Chechen Republic, I think. Ramzan Kadyrov and his people have tortured homosexuals and killed many of them in that country.
Wow.
No allegations, straight facts. What are you going to do, Kadyrov? Come after me? I'm all the way in Canada. Oh, wait. I shouldn't say that because, we know Russians and we know that they can just poison people whenever they want. So please don't come after me. Please don't poison me. I don't want to be poisoned. They do that,
I wouldn't
Even
be
if you're in
surprised.
another... You didn't hear about those people in England that got poisoned by the Russian government?
I'm not surprised if that's the case.
That's how things happen. It's a scary world we live in. Wally says AJ's a rat. AJ's no rat. AJ knows to keep his mouth shut. He believes in omerta. As do I.
Fun times. Fun times.
Keeping it gangster on Ringside Report Radio. We're going to call out all the rats tonight. Even Henry Hill we're calling out tonight. All the rats. You better go back in your holes because Ringside Report Radio is exposing you rats tonight.
Rats in wrestling, it's kind of a different term.
Yeah, rats in wrestling is a different term, and that's offensive, John. See, earlier you didn't want to offend anybody. You've just offended me and many women across the Wrestling Uncensored universe. So we're going to put an end to this show before you go too far and be disrespectful to the females of the wrestling business.
It's a term. I didn't invent the term.
It's not a term we use anymore.
Oh, we can't say it anymore?
No.
Wow.
It's like the M word for little people.
Uh-oh.
You can't use the M word for them. They're little people. You can't use the R word for the women of the business. Just call them women in the wrestling business or wrestling fans.
You do know that, the M word in wrestling is still used quite a bit, though.
Only by Hornswoggle, and it's okay because he's Hornswoggle. It's like black guys using the N word. They're allowed. Hornswoggle's allowed to use the M word talking about himself.
Rules. That's fun.
It's a PC world, Johnny North.
It's not a PCO world, unfortunately.
Wally wants me to say that he's a rat. Wally is a rat!
I thought he was a robot. What? Rat?
Wally's a little robot. Hey, Wally, how you doing, you little robot? That was I think that was my favorite moment when Olivier Aubin, great UFC fighter, was on the show. He said Anthony wanted to give a shout out to Wally, and Olivier did not understand. He's like, Wally, like the robot? And he's like, hey, Wally, you little robot. Called him a robot. That was really funny. Wally liked that one. So shout out to you, Wally. Shout out to Antoinette. Shout out to Franco. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to my dad who was checking in. So many people checking in today. Always happy to see all of you, to talk with all of you every Friday afternoon here on Dave and Johnny Live. Wrestling Uncensored, Ringside Report Radio. We don't get this kind of communication with the universe. And it's fun for me. I enjoy talking to the crew. You guys are our friends. And we only get to see you, on Fridays. Actually, we don't get to see you. You get to see us. But I consider you all my friends. So, thank you, my friends.
It's great to hear your feedback. It's well appreciated.
We love you. And guess what? New episode of What's Fandom in Japan will be dropping next week.
Cool.
So there's been some New Japan events. Destruction, Road to Destruction, Kenny Omega and Ishii had an incredible match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I will recap all the events and I will preview the show going down in Long Beach next weekend. Coming up this week with the Green Phantom for the latest episode of What's Fandom in Japan. So look for that coming out next week on our website.
Can't wait.
There you go. So thanks for everybody checking in. And I will talk to Green Phantom about that Johnny North match that we have coming up.
Yes.
And see if I can be the special guest referee.
We'll see.
Oh, D. Lloyd just checking in. D. Lloyd, the show's over. Thanks for checking in, man. We'll talk to you again soon. Watch the replay, buddy. Watch the replay.
Watch it over. Yeah, that's it.
You know what I'm saying? All right, for Johnny, I'm Dave. This has been Dave and Johnny Live. Say bye, Johnny.
Do we clap out here now?
You want to clap out? Clap out.
Can we do that?
Do
All
it.
right.